The battle for the gavel is adjourned. For now, the House is out until noon tomorrow after Republican Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy today lost count 'em, three consecutive votes for Speaker. A small yet very vocal group of Republicans simply will not get behind him. They're instead voting for others, including Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. McCarthy says he's not going anywhere in his underwear. Watch.
Are you going to stay in the race, Leader McCarthy? You're not
Yes,
dropping
I'm not going anywhere. We did have an intense conference. There's times we're going to have to argue with our own members if they're looking at for only positions for themselves, not for the country. I will always fight to put the American people first, not a few individuals that want something for themselves. So we may have a battle on the floor, but the battle is for the conference and the country, and that's fine with me.
All right, good. Then let the games continue. Democrats wasting no time, jumping all over the pandemonium. Their leadership now calling Republicans crazy. Watch.
The Republican dysfunction is what it is: chaos, crisis, and confusion, along with craziness. That's sad for the American people.
You love it so much, you want to marry it, Congressman-elect Jeffries. Congress cannot start until its members elect a new speaker. This is fun. So who will Republicans unite behind? Let's break it down with the party panel. We've got Independent Women's Forum senior policy analyst and the Federalist contributor, Inez Stepman. We've got Democrat pollster and author, our friend Doug Schoen, and 2020 Libertarian vice presidential candidate. What does 2024 hold? No one knows. He's also chair of YouAreThePower.net. Spike Cohen is back with his giant eagle. Welcome, everyone. So, Inez, I will start with you. I don't mind this. I think it's good to call truth to power. And I think that Leader McCarthy should be challenged. And Republicans did not have a red tsunami. He got behind a lot of the losing candidates. Someone's got to be held accountable. Why not him?
You know what? I totally agree, Kennedy. I think this is it's actually a good thing for the Republican Party. This is a continuation of a very long simmering tension that sometimes explodes into open civil war within the Republican Party. And that's not so much between the different wings of the party. That's a normal thing about coalition building, but between essentially a leadership for the Republican Party that consistently ignores its voters. So I say bring this on. It's the first time in 100 years that this has happened. Really crazy things can happen when you take a whole ton of ballots and people start getting desperate. This is fun to watch, if nothing else. And I'm not really in on the whole like, oh no, the messiness of democracy is terrifying. No, this is actually how our system works, and I'm having fun watching it.
Yeah, it's what we should be doing. It's what Democrats should be doing as well. Lockstep is bad for Americans. It just is. We should be skeptical of our leaders, even when we are in power. Doug, your thoughts, dear?
Yeah, and I'm all for argument, dispute, and the like. But if you can't pick a leader, and what Kevin McCarthy said that you just played, Kennedy, suggested that the 5, 6, 7 holdouts there are not going to get behind him tomorrow,
20.
Means that the Republicans can't really organize themselves. And while I wouldn't have used the word crazy that Hakeem Jeffries used, confusion, chaos, and polarization certainly are accurate terms about the best news the Democrats could have gotten this week, Kennedy, as far as I could see.
Yeah, because it's been all bad news, and they're acting like they need to throw themselves a parade, swirling the country down the turlet. So, Spike, let me ask you. It's very interesting because typically when something like this happens and there are holdouts, they've got their hands out for, little cash grabs for their states and their districts. But you've got some limited government conservatives who actually want the federal government and the House of Representatives to spend less money. So what is Kevin McCarthy to do in that instance?
I mean, listen, if it's going to be McCarthy or Jordan or Scalise or on the Democrat side, Jeffries, Sorry, Mike Jordan. If it was going to be one of them, then maybe we just shouldn't have a House of Representatives for a few years and just get to know ourselves better. Because, I mean, the reality is, of any of those candidates, none of them are committed to do what needs to be done. None of them are committed to introduce bills one issue at a time. No more of these omnibus nightmares, 4,500-page nightmares. Allowing adequate time for Congress and the public to actually read these bills so we know what they are before we vote for them, recording all votes, no more voice votes where people aren't being held responsible for what they voted for or against, and most importantly, allowing individual members of Congress to introduce bills on the floor. That's something that Paul Ryan stopped when he was House Speaker. Pelosi continued that practice of not allowing it. It's been around a decade since a bill has been introduced without it going through the committees and all the cronies that own them. The only person I know who's committed to doing that is the former Congressman Justin Amash, and he would be able to actually get bipartisan appeal because he's worked with both Republicans and Democrats, and he's called both of them on the carpet. So that's who my endorsement is for. If there's not enough ability to get support for him, I would offer as, I guess, a compromise candidate, the new Washington Commanders mascot, Major Tuddy, because if Congress is going to be run by war pigs, then we might as well just make the speaker a literal pig with a war helmet on.
And have a furry in there, one of them squishy bronies. No, I get what you're saying, and I do think Justin Amash has bipartisan support. Unfortunately, it's not between Republicans and Democrats. I think he's a great guy. I think they should nominate my neighbor Pam. She's one of the most delightful people I've ever met. I just don't think she can get enough votes right now. I don't know that anyone can, but you know what? I don't really have a problem with that. As long as there's a logjam on Capitol Hill, I think we're all better off for it.